Imagine moving into a home that feels almost too quiet. The kind of silence that isn't peaceful but heavy, watchful. You might shrug it off until your cat starts staring at the stairs every night at the same exact time, as if waiting for someone you can't see. This is the story of the house and the cat that knew what lived on the stairs. The house itself wasn't remarkable. An old two-story suburban build, creaking floorboards, pale wallpaper peeling in corners, the faint smell of dust and wood rot that clung to the air no matter how many windows were opened. It had been vacant for years before Daniel moved in. He wasn't superstitious. He wanted space, peace, and a place to start over after the slow collapse of his marriage. The price was cheap, suspiciously cheap. But in his mind, it was just another forgotten house. Forgotten, but still livable. The only constant companion he had was his cat, Milo, a small, wiry, black and white creature with a twitching tail and restless green eyes. Milo had followed him faithfully through breakups, relocations, and now into this new, hollow house. From the first night, Milo behaved strangely. The cat explored every corner, every shelf, and every hidden crawl space, as cats tend to do. But when it reached the staircase, a narrow wooden passage leading up into the shadows of the second floor, it stopped dead. Milo sat at the bottom step. His body went stiff, tail lashing. And then he stared. Daniel chuckled nervously at first. "What's the matter, boy?" "See a spider." But Milo didn't move, didn't blink. His eyes locked on the top of the staircase, unyielding. That night, Daniel brushed it off. New house, new smells. The cat would adjust, but he didn't. Every night, around 10:30, Milo padded into the hallway. He sat at the base of the stairs, ears flat, whiskers twitching. Then he would stare upward as though something invisible loomed just beyond the bend of the staircase, something hidden in the darkness above. At first, Daniel found it quirky. He even joked about it to a co-worker. "My cat thinks I'm haunted." But as the days passed, it stopped being funny, because Milo wasn't just watching. Sometimes his lips curled back in a silent hiss. Sometimes a growl rumbled deep in his throat, a low warning sound that Daniel had never heard from him before. And on the fourth night, Milo's fur stood on end, his tail bushed, and he bolted under the couch, refusing to come out until morning. That was the night Daniel heard it too. It was faint at first, a creak, just a single groan of wood from the stairs above. Daniel froze in the living room. The television played some meaningless late-night show, but the sound sliced through the noise. It wasn't the building settling. He knew that sound already. This was different. It was a footstep, slow, deliberate. He muted the TV. The silence pressed in. Another step, higher this time, then another. As though someone or something was pacing slowly down the staircase. Daniel's throat went dry. He turned his head toward the hallway. From where he sat, he couldn't see the stairs directly. Only the first few steps where the shadows pooled like ink. Milo was there, crouched low, pupils blown wide, his gaze never leaving the darkness above. The footsteps stopped. Daniel waited, heart hammering for the sound of something descending, for a shadow to appear, for anything. But the stairs remained empty. After a long minute, he forced a laugh that sounded hollow in his own ears. "Old wood," he muttered. "Just old wood." But Milo didn't move. And Daniel didn't sleep that night. The nights that followed grew worse. The footsteps weren't isolated anymore. Sometimes they began in the dead of night, when the clock ticked past 3 a.m. Sometimes they happened in broad daylight, when Daniel sat at his desk trying to work. Always from the same place, the staircase. Milo never missed them. He was always there first, already watching before the first creak broke the silence. It became routine. Footsteps rising, descending, pausing as though waiting just out of sight. But never a body, never a shadow. One evening, after too many sleepless nights, Daniel decided to confront his own nerves. He stood at the base of the stairs, clutching a flashlight. Milo sat at his feet, growling low. "All right," Daniel whispered to himself. "If something's up there, I'll see it." He flicked the flashlight on and began to climb. Step by step, the old wood groaned under his weight. The beam of light cut through the shadows, revealing only dust, peeling wallpaper, and the familiar sight of the upstairs landing. But as he reached the halfway point, he froze. Because just above him, one step higher than where his light reached, he heard it. Another footstep. Not his. Something had moved just beyond the beam. He swung the flashlight upward. Nothing. Empty landing. Milo hissed and bolted, disappearing under the couch again. Daniel forced himself up the last steps, his skin crawling, every muscle tight with dread. He searched every room upstairs. Nothing. But when he came back down, he found Milo staring at the top of the stairs again, his growl deep and guttural. Days blurred together. Daniel's exhaustion grew heavy. He caught himself jumping at shadows, hearing faint whispers in the walls, glimpsing movement in the corner of his eye. One night, he left his phone recording on the stairs while he slept, desperate for proof. Something he could explain, something rational. In the morning, he played it back. At first, just silence, the creak of settling wood. Then, footsteps, slow, deliberate, coming down the stairs. Daniel's stomach dropped. Then came a sound that made his skin crawl. Breathing, heavy, ragged, just above the phone. And then, a whisper. Too faint to make out words, but low, guttural, like a voice trying to form syllables it didn't quite remember. He deleted the recording, pretended it didn't exist. But Milo didn't let him forget. Every night, the cat was there, watching, guarding, warning. By the end of the second week, Daniel stopped laughing about his haunted cat because he realized something terrible. The cat wasn't just staring at the stairs. He was staring at whatever stood on them.